A very good evening, the 12th day of October 2023. This is Lookuptv News. Nasina Lima here and Felista Adundo on the sign language interpretation. We've got a lot of stories prepared for tonight. Before we get into it, here are our top stories. Tonight on Lookuptv News, a Kenya Airways plane from Nairobi to London, Heathrow, intercepted by Royal Air Force for allegedly being a security threat.
There will be other pre-mission visits to Haiti, as I have said, by different players before our officers set foot there.
Interior CS Kithure Kindiki says deployment of police officers to Haiti is subject to Parliament's approval.
In the next 3 weeks, tunakamilisha training ya National Police Reserve ambao watakuja kusaidiana na askari wetu kushughulikia hawa wakora ili tuhakikisha kwamba kuna usalama katika sehemu hii.
And President RUTO sends staff warning to bandits in Turkana that he will bring them to book. And once more, welcome to the broadcast. The hashtag is Lookuptv News at Lookuptv on X, Lookuptv on Facebook, and Lookuptv on our YouTube channel. Let's keep engaging across our social media platforms. I'll be sampling some of your feedback at the tail end of this bulletin. Let's begin. A Kenya Airways flight from Nairobi to Heathrow was intercepted by Royal Air Force fighters and diverted to Stansted Airport over an alleged potential security threat. According to a statement from the Kenya Airways, the security risk that occasioned the interception was of low credibility and that there was no security incident before and after the flight. The plane was intercepted and landed at Stansted Airport, and after undergoing various security checks, it has now been cleared and will be departing to Heathrow to resume normal operation. Stansted is the designated airport for dealing with security issues in the UK. Confirming the incident, Kenya Airways said the KQ Boeing 787-8 Dreamliner was en route from Nairobi to London Heathrow. Kenya Airways has confirmed that all crew on board were briefed on the matter and all safety and security precautions were taken to protect everyone on board, including the passengers. The statement from KQ reads, Kenya Airways PLC confirms that on Thursday, 12th October 2023, at around 10:30, KQ headquarters received an alert of a potential security threat on board KQ 100 operating from Nairobi to London Heathrow. KQ management, in conjunction with the security authorities of the Government of Kenya and the United Kingdom, carried out a thorough risk assessment of the threat. The crew on board were briefed and all safety and security precautions were taken to ensure the safety and security of a crew and passengers on board. End of quote. And we're keeping up with that story. We'll be briefing you, so just Lookuptv on Twitter, on Facebook. Keep it right here on Lookuptv as we bring you up to speed as and at whatever unveils. Moving on, the National Dialogue Committee on Thursday revealed progress made in the talks for the past 43 days, indicating that the committee and the technical team have agreed on 4 items in the 5-point agenda, including the inclusion of the 2 offices that are the official leader of opposition and the Prime Cabinet Secretary in the Constitution. Stanley Lugari attended today's session and files the following report.
With only 17 days left before the lapse of the National Dialogue talks, a session bringing together the committee and the technical team led by co-chair Kimani Ichung'wah indicated that the committee, having reached an agreement on several issues, including top among them 2/3 gender rule, constitutional authorization of financial divisions including the National Government Constituency Development Fund CDF, the National Government Affirmative Action Fund and the Senate Oversight Fund, the establishment of government offices including that of the leader of the opposition and the Prime Minister, as well as loyalty to political parties.
They have given us a report and we have agreed by and large on the issue of the 2/3 gender rule, on the establishment of funds and the establishment of the offices of the Prime Cabinet Secretary and that of the official leader of opposition. We have also agreed on issues touching on political parties' fidelity.
Leader of the minority in Parliament, Opiyo Wandayi, has stressed that the committee has taken steps in the whole process, insisting that the committee will meet again tomorrow to discuss some of the complex issues that the committee is set to agree on.
Tremendous progress, especially today, on the 4 areas he has highlighted. And we seem to have arrived at consensus in those 4 areas with no much difficulty at all. And the work is continuing.
The committee is expected to wrap up on the consensus building process next week as it continues to grapple with some of the contentious issues, including the high cost of living, review of last year's presidential election results, Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission IEBC, as the committee continues to prepare a final report for all the agreed agenda.
And we shall be reconvening tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. to look into the other issues. As you may all understand, we are not at liberty to disclose the specifics now because it is work in progress, but just to assure the nation that we are making tremendous positive progress.
With time running out, the committee has reassured the public that the 5 points as raised in the agenda will be discussed and agreed before preparing and presenting a final report.
Sometime next week, to be able to look into some of the other issues that we have discussed today, with a view to retreating the week after to now conclude on that process. There may be a possibility that we'll be able to conclude that process within the 60 days that was given to us by Parliament. But should that not be the case, we should be able to evaluate that from tomorrow and next week and be able to inform you on the way forward.
Stanley Lugaria, Lookuptv.
Away from that, Interior Cabinet Secretary Professor Kithure Kindiki has emphasized that Kenyan officers will only be sent to Haiti with the consent of the National Assembly. Appearing before the National Assembly Security Committee, Kindiki noted they defended the mission, insisting that the first time Kenya has committed to helping nations affected with insecurity issues. He spoke before the Departmental Committee on National Administration and Internal Security on the procedure to be followed to send 1,000 Kenyan officers in the Operation Okoa, Haiti, which will be the last year.
Appearing before the Departmental Committee on National Administration and Internal Security, Interior Cabinet Secretary Professor Kithure Kindiki has reiterated that Parliament must approve deployment of security officers to Haiti before at least 1,000 soldiers jet out to the Caribbean nation.
It is the intention of the government of Kenya to accede to that request by the United Nations Security Council to deploy or to take part in the multinational peace support operation.
With questions lingering on the deployment of Kenyan forces overseas, the CS noted that the deployment is not a surprise mission, as Kenya Police Service has a long history in peacekeeping mission to different countries. However, despite the UN Security Council voting in favor of the Kenyan troops being sent to the nation, with a population of at least 11 million, with the opposition leaders questioning the mission, citing lack of proper procedures in the deployment, Kindiki set the record straight.
From either the United Nations or the regional arrangements, United Nations under Chapter 7 of the Charter or Chapter 6, regional arrangements under Chapter 8 of the Charter. Then the law of the receiving country, the country which has been requested, starts operating. And that's why we are saying for us, because the request has already been done and the legal backing internationally provided, what remains now is the backing of the local law. And what the steps we have taken therefore was first to send an assessment mission to travel to Haiti. And from our side, DIG Gabo was in that delegation and many other officers. And that report, which has been submitted, is part of the support documents that will be provided to the Security Council so that the National Security Council makes a decision that is informed not only by the request but also the fact-finding mission. So, Chair, it is a bit premature for now to generally discuss that report of the fact-finding mission, but I want to assure the committee that when the Security Council meets, and it should be very soon in the next few days, once it is convened by the chairperson, the transmittal letter to Parliament will include also as support material the report of the fact-finding mission.
The million-dollar question now remains whether Parliament will approve or reject the request after analyzing the report that will be presented before the House, with the court having suspended the deployment until the case filed by Ekuru Court, the Third Way Alliance leader, and his companion is heard on the 24th of October this year. Aludagail, Lookuptv.
Moving on, Interior Cabinet Secretary Kithure Kindiki has assured the nation of his docket's commitment towards ensuring that the clashes have been experienced in the recent weeks alongside Kisumu and Kericho counties. The CS, while appearing before the Departmental Committee on Administration and National Security, has promised to beef up security in the area. As Beatrice Kageha now reports, the CS hinted that if at all political leaders are involved, then they will be held accountable.
Interior Cabinet Secretary Kithure Kindiki, while appearing before the National Assembly Security Committee earlier in the day, expressed his regrets over the deadly clashes being experienced in Sondu along the Kericho-Kisumu border.
On the issue of Sondu, I have listened to the Honorable Aduma with a lot of support for the sentiments because what that region has gone through, that Sondu area, it should not happen, and I want to give my commitment and the commitment for all of us that we will make sure that we bring that to an end completely.
The CS, however, cautioned those behind the killings, adding that measures have been put in place to deal with the criminals, with more police officers set to be deployed in the area in case the clashes persist.
And because there were issues of livestock theft, and one wonders what is the connection between the boundary and somebody's cow. We have also on standby in that 2 detachments of the anti-stock theft unit. And their instructions are to be impartial, apolitical, neutral, and ruthlessly isolate, track, arrest, and punish criminals, whether they are from this county or the other county.
Kindiki highlighted the importance of involving political leaders from both Kisumu and Kericho to understand the root cause of the clashes and whether political leaders were behind the clashes.
And also we believe there is some logic in involving the elected leaders from both counties to help us galvanize sustainable, durable peace among the 2 neighboring communities. But we have not reached the point of engaging political leaders. We will do so once we confirm that that violence is not recurring, because at the time when that orgy of violence was happening, we were suspecting that perhaps some of the local leaders could have been participating in inciting the public. The investigations are still ongoing, and as soon as we are sure that we know who the suspects are, then we can be able to know who to invite.
Beatrice Kageha, Lookuptv.
Now, President William RUTO has issued a stern warning to bandits and cattle rustlers causing insecurity menace in Turkana County that they will face the full force of the law. The head of state has directed Security Cabinet Secretary Kithure Kindiki to work with local leaders to come up with a clear path to arrest the deteriorating security. He has moreover directed that 3 sub-counties of Suguta, Aror and Lokiriama be formed in the next 90 days to aid in keeping the Turkana County secure. Henry Tende with more.
While attending the Turkana Cultural and Tourism Festival, also known as Tobonglory, in Lodwar, Turkana County, President William Ruto has taken note of the rising cases of banditry and cattle rustling that are causing havoc for residents of Turkana and other neighboring counties. The head of state has now demanded all those engaged in such cases stop or they be dealt with mercilessly.
Hawa wakora ambao tumewafukuza kutoka sehemu ingine, tunasikia wamehamia hapa Kapedo. Ati iko shida na Dome. Ati iko shida Katilia. Ati iko shida na Boyetum. Hawa wakora wote mimi nataka muambie rais amesema mambo yao ni matatu.
In the next 3 weeks, the president has directed Security Cabinet Secretary Kithure Kindiki to visit Turkana County with a view to establishing a security operation. On top of CS Kindiki's agenda will be to devise a clear path to flush out the criminals from their hideouts, while also ensuring adequate staffing of security personnel is undertaken to guarantee the success of the entire operation.
In the next 3 weeks, tunakamilisha training ya National Police Reserve ambao watakuja kusaidiana na askari wetu kushughulikia hawa wakora ili tuhakikisha kwamba kuna usalama katika sehemu hii.
Following the request of local leaders, 3 sub-counties will be formed. These sub-counties will serve as crucial bases to discuss and address security lapses.
Sub-county ya pale Suguta, sub-county ya Aro na sub-county ya Lokiriama. Hizo sub-counties 3 wameniuliza wanataka zianzishwe, na tayari mimi nataka niwaambie watu wa hapa county ya Turkana ya kwamba ndani ya siku 90 days all those 3 sub-counties will be operational. Ili kutusaidia kusahihisha mambo ya usalama.
The Tobong Glory Festival of the Turkana County is now turning out as a national cultural heritage. For this reason, the president says his government will work towards giving the festival a facelift to serve as a major tourist attraction.
The cradle of humankind, the home of humanity, inakuwa ni mahali ambapo dunia kote watatembea hapa kama vile wanatembea kule Mecca, watakuwa wanatembea hapa Turkana kuja kuona mahali binadamu walianza safari.
The Tobong Glory Cultural Festival brings together the Ateker communities from Turkana and the neighboring countries to showcase the best of their cultures, and it is held annually. Henry Tende, Lookuptv.
That story by Henry Tende takes us for a very fast break here on the program. So much more on the other side. Don't go too far.
Infinity Industrial Park is one of the largest private industrial parks located along Eastern Bypass, Nairobi, which provides modern infrastructure for smooth operations for industries and business enterprises. Infinity Industrial Park offers world-class amenities and facilities with wide roads, a police station, a power substation, fire station, public transport stage, hospital, and shopping mall. In addition, Infinity Industrial Park also offers CCTV cameras, 24-hour private armed security patrol, sewer, water, fiber optic cable, and 3-phase power connection, added to public utility, canteen, and dining areas. Sail on the golden opportunity to invest in Infinity Industrial Park fully serviced warehouses at a special price of 3,569 Kenyan shillings per square foot. For more inquiries, visit our website infinityindustrialpark.com.
We got good news for you. you have the opportunity to win up to 100,000 shillings cash money from Kuza Bees. It's easy to participate. Just open M-Pesa, Lipa na M-Pesa, account number 825454, account name right, Lookuptv, then deposit 99 shillings only. Remember, the more you participate, the more the chances of winning. Hurry now and be one of the winners of the Daily Cash Awards.
This game is BCLB licensed and is not open to persons under the age of 18 years. Play responsibly.
Welcome back. Thank you so much for staying with Lookuptv. This is Look Up News. Nancy Nalima and Felista Adundo on the sign language interpretation. Let's continue. Environment Cabinet Secretary Soipan Tuya has really issued a stern warning to Kenya Forest Service officials that her ministry, together with the Directorate of Criminal Investigation, will unmask the embezzlement of funds, noting that everyone will be held accountable. John Mataba files the story.
Just a day after President William RUTO ordered dismissal of 23 Forest Service officers during the pass-out parade at KFS recruits in Gilgil, Nakuru County, Environment Cabinet Secretary Soipan Tuya has indicated that a crackdown has begun in partnership with the DCI to probe more officials suspected of graft dealings leading to environmental degradation.
We have had instances where our very own Kenya Forest Service officers have been implicated, and we are here to continue with the promise for continuous briefings and ensure clarity and reiterate that our forests are out of bounds.
In our investigation, we have determined that Principal Secretary of the Ministry of Wildlife, Sylvia Museia, on February 26th to March 6th, 2023, traveled to Bonn, Germany to attend a meeting and spend a total of 1,191,241.50 cents, of which 723,331 were spent by her, and his colleague Gideon Nyambunga spent 467,910.50 cents. On April 7th to 12th, 2023, these documents show a trip to India where a total of 1,927,650 was spent together with his colleagues to attend the launch of the International Big Cats Alliance. On March 26th to April 2nd, 2023, they traveled to Oxford, England, the trip which cost about 2,111,544.25 cents. We found out that 929,302 were spent by Sylvia Museia. 573,522 shillings was spent by Shadrach Ngene. 106,062 shillings and 25 cents was used by Richard Chepkoni, and 502,658 shillings was used by Eric Mwenda. However, the question remains, will President William Ruto take urgent action to stop this massive theft of taxpayers' money as the rest of Kenyans are forced to tighten their belts due to the harsh economic times? John Matava, Lookuptv, Nairobi.
Now, cash-strapped girls from low-income pastoral communities in West Pokot County are forced to use rags, pieces of cloth and mattresses to stop the flow in place of sanitary towels during menstruation while at school due to inflation and poverty. Despite the availability of reusable pads, lack of water at most rural schools to aid in washing of reusable pads poses a serious challenge. As Bridget Agula now files, the situation has forced young girls to engage in early sexual activities to get essential commodities from men preying on them, hence leading to high school dropout and teenage pregnancies among schoolgirls.
For girls going through puberty, menstruation is a symbol of growth and womanhood. However, for some girls in West Pokot County, the onset of menstruation has brought agony as they face high-level stigmatization. For 3 days every week, girls miss school due to the challenges brought about by menstruation, top among them lack of sanitary pads.
And most of the time they are absent from school because they don't have the towels. They were suggesting that if possible, because they want to be in school, if they get the washable sanitary towels, it would be better to keep them in school. Or if at least they could get somebody who would help them somebody who will supply them sanitary towel throughout, they would appreciate so much.
Some of these girls are forced to stuff their mattresses or twist clothes on their undergarments, which eventually soaks and leaves stains on their school uniforms, leading to low self-esteem. The dire situation has pushed some girls into early sexual activities to obtain essential sanitary supplies from individuals taking advantage of their vulnerability. The consequences are stuck high school dropouts and an upsurge in teenage pregnancies. Furthermore, the nipe nikupe give and take lifestyle prevails in this region, where these girls end up sharing underwear according to their menstrual cycles.
Katika shule ya msingi ya Mseta Kacheliba, niko katika grade la 7. Wasichana wanapitia matatizo mingi kama vile kukosa panty, sanitary towels na mattress. Sometimes wakati kama msichana hapo menstruation na amekosa labda panty yake ni chache ama kuna shida yote hapo, inabidi tena aende aibe panty ya msichana mwingine. Ama sometimes wakati mtu analala lack of mattress, zile mtu amekosa, kama analala na mtu anakuwa afraid because kama ana sanitary towels na ipite wa kitanda inaweza leta masumbuko. Sasa inabidi wengine wanalala chini wenye wako menstruation. Sasa inabidi wengine wanatumia viraka, wanatumia mattress.
If your menstruation has arrived, you will have to sleep on a cold floor to prevent this dirt from flowing onto your mattress. However, these girls have found joy as the Ajuma Foundation has come in handy by providing sanitary pads that they will use in the coming days. Bridget Agola, Lookuptv.
Detectives in Kakamega County have launched investigations to uncover an incident where the body of a security guard at St. Joseph's Girls' School in Kakamega Town, who was abducted by unknown individuals, was found dumped over the weekend in Kisumu.
At exactly 6 a.m. 30 days ago, this is where a 70-year-old guard by the name Frank Nelson was kidnapped by known individuals who claimed to be police officers. Nelson was working at a school, St. Joseph's Girls in Kakamega County. 1 month later, his body has been found dumped in Kisumu County.
Security ilikuwa mbaya. Kuna baadhi ya watu walishikwa wakawekwa ndani, wametoka, tena wamerudi kuanza kufanya vitu. Tunashangaa kama vile watchman atatoweka kwa gate ya shule, washike watchman na waende na yeye na asijulikane mahali alipo. Ni nani ako nyuma ya hiyo maneno?
Detectives are now launching an investigation to uncover the case. The kidnappers used a private car which is still being sought by DCI detectives.
Shindwa ni kama mtu raia atavaa mavazi ya polisi, raia avae mavazi ya polisi na awe na pingu na akuje na gari na kuambia wengine ndani. Hiyo kitu itashindikana kweli? Serikali tuambie tu kweli ni nini inafanyika.
The DCI, led by investigating officer Nabat Marugo, have ascertained to identify the identities and motives of those involved.
Kindly tunaomba serikali itusaidie, itulinde. Askari mmoja analinda watu 1,000. Kama analinda watu 1,000, so Kakamega hii ni headquarter, maaskari wako wafanye patrol, na kama kuna shida wafanye reshuffle.
Furthermore, residents of Kakamega County, led by Evans Chipondo, have raised concerns about the deteriorating security in the town and are demanding a swift police inquiry to determine the reasons behind the guard's abduction. Ruga Ival, Lookuptv.
Residents of Ramula sub-location in Gem constituency, Siaya, are living in uncertainty over pending eviction to pave way for a gold mining project in the area. This follows a recent announcement by Shanta Gold Limited of the existence of commercially viable gold deposits in the area worth more than 1 trillion shillings. The residents now want the government to intervene, expressing fears that large-scale mining will expose them to environmental hazards given the chemicals used. By Remo Asike tells us more.
It is a discovery that was supposed to bring smiles to the locals, with mineral deposits estimated to be worth 1 trillion shillings discovered. That's an opportunity for locals to work for the mining company that will secure the deal to work on the mines, as well as generate more revenue for the county government. However, with the discovery comes fears of eviction to pave way for gold mining project in Ramula sublocation in Gem constituency in Siaya County, with residents living in distress, not knowing their impending fate. According to Habakkuk Onyango, a retired Archbishop of Church of Christ in Africa, the locals have for years lived peacefully until recently when the report came out.
Sisi ni watu wa Ramula. Hatutaki kuwa tena watu wa Mulamba au Yoma au Imba, pana. Sisi ni watu wa Ramula. Kwa hivyo hata kama yeyote au serikali au nani atuambie kwamba wana bahali ya kutupeleka, hatutaki kwenda popote. Ramula ndio yetu ambayo Mungu alitupatia. Ramula ndio kwetu.
Colonel Moses Adol, a former military official, remains skeptical that large-scale mining will expose those living within Ramula to environmental hazards.
We feel that is a big abuse, and even the human rights cannot afford that, cannot support that. And secondly, we look at it in terms of environmental poisoning, basically poisoning, in a way that once you dig a hole beyond 100 meters, then definitely you get into the water lines. All the riverbeds will be affected. Once affected, it will not be Ramula issue a lot at all. It will be issue of the whole of Game, north or south of the two rivers that we have. That's River Dene and River Wach.
The area might soon be out of bounds to ordinary citizens, forcing residents to call upon the government and other stakeholders to address their concerns and help quell the anxiety.
Hatuwezi kupata njia yoyote ya kuhama Ramula tuende pali pengine. Hapa Ramula ndio kwetu, ndio tuko nao na watoto wetu na wajukuu wetu na watu wetu wote, wazee, wamama, wale wakongwe, tuko hapa. Na hatuwezi tukaambiwa ati tuhamishwe.
Remo Asike, Lookuptv.
Roads and Transport Cabinet Secretary Kipchumba Murkomen has today inspected the rehabilitation and expansion of Karenga Airstrip in Kericho County ahead of Mashujaa Day celebrations slated for 20th of this month at Kericho Green Stadium. Murkomen lauded the pace of the ongoing rehabilitation, noting that the infrastructure is an enabler of development and his ministry will do all it can to open up Kenya for investment.
I am very pleased with the work that is already done by the contractor and with the supervision and leadership of the Kenya Defence Forces and the Kenya Airports Authority that have made it possible for us in the shortest time possible, in less than 3 weeks actually. This airport is going to change matters transport. It's going to make transport in this region to become efficient, to become more competitive, to make movement of persons and goods to become faster. Number two, this airstrip is going to enhance tourism. Tourists now will have an opportunity to also have a facility where they can land, enjoy the scenery of Kericho and its environment. It will also they enjoy tea, take some time here before they can take off to other areas. So in terms of tourism circle, this airport is going to be able to open the tourism in this region.
Even us as a county government, we are also engaging actively with Ekatera and other stakeholders to ensure that we have a smooth handover. In fact, I thank the security of Kericho County. I had a meeting a while ago with the head of NSIS in Kericho, Robert, and others, and I'm very happy that there is that very good discussion already on how we are going to have this land. And we commit to you, Asiri, that in a short while we'll have the 2 kilometers that we intend, and the future vision of extending this to even close to 100 acres, so that ultimately we have a full functional airport.
Now in the counties, Nakuru County Motorbike Operators Chairperson Samuel Munyeri has called on locals to take precaution and ensure they board motorbikes that are well known with clear stage registration numbers. His plea comes amid the rise of cases of gangs using motorbikes to commit crimes in various informal settlements. The gangs are said to be targeting those walking along deserted streets, women with handbags and people carrying precious items.
It is a resurgence that threatens thousands of residents of various informal settlements in most parts of Nakuru County, with the rise in the number of gangs using motorcycles to terrorize residents, a move that has forced those in boda business to caution residents of boarding motorcycles at designated points and organizing a series of meetings primarily aimed at counter the thugs taking cover in their business.
Na tumekuwa na incidents ambazo zimekuwa zikitokea, watu wanatoka area zingine wanakuja kuvamia watu area Flamingo Ward. Na nawashukuru sana kwa sababu wamekuwa wakifukuza hawa wahalifu. Kwa kushirikiana na viongozi na wafanyabiashara bodaboda, serikali imehakikisha hii area sio mbaya vile ilikuwa hapo awali.
Vijana wako na bodabodas ambao wanajificha kwa hii sekta yetu. Wanajifanya ni riders lakini si riders. Wanafanya uhalifu.
Elsewhere, the Kenya Roads Board is prepared to handle the El Nino rains after effects, noting that out of the 244 billion Kenya shillings allocated by the National Treasury, this year 25% of the fund has been set aside to repair any damage associated with the El Nino rains.
As up to now, if you look at the disbursement which has been made to roads for this financial year 2023-2024, we're in the first quarter, we have just finished the first quarter, and we've disbursed to the road agencies at least 25% of their allocation. So we expect that they have resources. In case there will be any emergencies, they should be able to move in fast and rectify the situation. If there will be a road which will be cut off or a network which will be impassable, it's expected that they will address the issue or the problem as soon as it happens.
Pastoralists in Kajiado County are said to reap big from the rise of prices of livestock in the area occasioned by the scarcity of livestock brought about by the 2021-2022 famine that saw thousands of animals die in the region. However, meat lovers are said to part with more money as the prices of meat set rise from 500 to 600 Kenya shillings per kilogram.
Nimekuwa kwa biashara hii kwa miaka 15, lakini sasa hii imekuwa na mambo mingi sana. Kwa hiyo imekuwa na bei kali, lakini kulikana na ile kiasi ilikuwa last year.
Sisi ilikuwa tunanunua 8,000, sasa tunanunua 15, 15,000, 16,000.
Finally, Kangema Member of Parliament Peter Kiongi has launched free Wi-Fi connection in Gakira Market, Murang'a County, noting that the primary installation is aimed at facilitating digital market strategy to the business people in the regions to connect locally and globally.
They are wares, they can be able even to source the wares they want to sell. They can be able to source maybe from another market that is Nyamakima. They can be able even to connect with other traders. They can also be able to have an online way of doing marketing of the products that they are having.
Regan Meguran, Lookuptv.
Let's now get sporty. The Standard Chartered Nairobi Marathon organizers have received over 178 million Kenya shillings in support from over 30 partners who have contributed in kind and in cash out of the Nairobi Marathon. As the marathon commemorates its 20th anniversary, over the years, more than 270,000 runners have participated in the marathon, and over 750 million has been raised to support various impact initiatives. The marathon is set to take place on 20th October in Nairobi.
Nairobi City County. To begin in Nairobi City County, Makofi.
all the money we raise from the participants registration goes towards our community impact initiatives. For the first few years of the marathon, we were doing our Seeing is Believing initiative, which was about addressing issues around preventable blindness.
We are fully prepared. I think this year we've had a very good response in terms of sponsorship and sponsors coming on board. And what we're foreseeing this year is a bigger marathon, more successful marathon. Basically, it's going to be a marathon that everyone wants to participate. We have a lot of activities during the marathon day. We'd like to invite everyone to come for the marathon. We have children's activities. We have a whole area that is specific for children. We have the 5 km fun run for families, which is a lot of fun, which is being fully sponsored again by Prudential. Again, along the route this year, we have a lot of activities. We have music on the route just to keep people entertained on the route, which you've not had before. We're encouraging everyone who is able to either run or walk. It's a run, yes, but you also don't stop anyone who wants to come and walk.
The national under-20 women's football team Rising Starlets have arrived in Luanda, Angola for a return leg match of the FIFA Under-20 Women's World Cup qualifiers. Starlets thrashed Angola 6-1 in the first leg at Nyayo Stadium and will look to replicate the performance against the host to qualify for the next round. The aggregate winner of the match will face the winner of the second round match between Cameroon and Botswana. The match will be played this Saturday. Now, the Kenya Ladies Golf Union Alien Belcher Amateur Golf Tournament, powered by KCB, will be held at the PAR 72 Sigona Golf Club this coming weekend. Seasoned golfer Diana Mbumba, who recently clinched the Kenya Ladies Golf Union Championship at the Royal Nairobi Club, is set to headline the event, including Mercy Nyanchama, Mukami Mungai, and other lady golfers. KCB has continued with its commitment to enhance the sport through such sponsorships that are aimed at demystifying the perception that golf is a preserve for the wealthy. And we've come to the end of the broadcast this evening, and we appreciate you so much for being part of the bulletin. Pablo Moja across Facebook says he is watching from Ruiru. We appreciate you, and we don't take you for granted. Thank you so much, and your feedback is important to us as well. Now, as I live, just giving you the update on the London-bound KQ plane that was intercepted. Now, the Kenya Airways has given a statement and stated that really the Royal Air Force fighters, that was the plane that was diverted to Stansted Airport, there was not really much of a threat right there. They have distanced themselves, saying that it was no threat. And just let me reread the statement. It goes on to say that with the security authorities of the Kenyan government and the United Kingdom, they carried out a thorough risk assessment of the threat. The crew on board were briefed, and all safety and security precautions were taken to ensure the safety and security of the crew and passengers. And they've said that right now, that now it has been freed because there was no threat. That is a statement by KQ, Kenya Airways itself. And of course, there's being a developing story. We'll be keeping you up to date as and when it happens at Lookuptv on Twitter, Lookuptv on Facebook, and Lookuptv on our YouTube channel, as well as for you to catch the latest about what's happening within the country, across our borders, and the rest of the world. www.lookuptv.co.ke is where you can catch the latest. I am Nancy Nalima. Our sign language interpreter has been Felista Adundo. Have yourselves a pleasant evening. Good night, and keep it Lookuptv.